I want to thank you for joining us here this morning. We have put out an alert to ask the citizens of this community to help us fill the potholes. As all of us who live in this community know, this has been a tremendously hard winter, and we had more potholes than we anticipated because of the severity of our winter. And so we are asking the people of our community to call in, to get in on the internet, to do all that they can to alert us to the potholes that need to be fixed. By doing that, we can use their information to make sure we get as many potholes fixed as possible. Since April 1st of this year, we have already filled over 2,000 potholes. 570 of those were complaints by citizens, and we are going to continue to do that. Since coming into office, I have, along with the City Council, have pushed to buy machines that will help us fill potholes more efficiently. You're seeing our second machine that we've bought here, the Durapatcher. We will have 2 Durapatchers out on the streets filling potholes at all times. Next week, we're going to be starting the mill work for our mill and pave for our road work. And as I said, given the severity of this winter, we've all seen it's taken a tremendous toll on our infrastructure, and we're asking people to call in and alert us to potholes that are particularly bad or things that needs our attention. You can do that in a number of ways. The first and always 448 City, which is the city line, which will get complaints there. You can also send an email to potholes at syracuse.gov.net, Facebook, Twitter, and also you can enter into our complaint system, which you can get off the city website, which we refer to as our IPS system, which can be accessed 24 hours a day. So between all of those methods, we think that there's a way to get us the information that can then help us make sure that our roads are in a condition that we want. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
What about streets that require maybe a little bit more work? I'm thinking of Erie Boulevard heading down towards State Street. It looks like it's more than just a pothole issue there.
Well, I think what people should do is send us that request, and then we can have our professionals look at it to determine. And what we are constantly in a status of doing is looking at our roads and grading them and putting them in line to be mill and paved or even actual reconstruction.
You've talked about not having the money for infrastructure upgrades needed. Can you afford to have both of these running as much as needed to fix all those streets?
Obviously, because we're doing that. But when I talk about infrastructure, what I'm talking about is sustainable maintenance of infrastructure and water mains. And so it would be better to do actual road reconstruction and more mill and paving. And I think that we should be able to do that. But filling potholes is something that we can do, and we are doing.
How time-consuming is it to fill all these potholes? And what could DPW be doing otherwise?
Well, they would be filling potholes or milling or paving or picking up trash or doing all sorts of things. So this is what our job is, and this is what we're going to do.
Is this the first time that you've sort of reached out to the public about it?
No, it's not. We ask all the time, and we have a tradition of doing that with 448 City, and we have a very close relationship with our constituents. They know how to get a hold of us. But given the severity of this year and given the fact that everybody's kind of talking about potholes, we thought it would be helpful to remind people of the various ways that they can get in touch with us to help us do this job.
How much I know you guys budget for this every year, how much more is it starting to exceed your expectations?
No, obviously this has been a hard winter, but what we have said is we're going to do what we can do within our budget. And when we look at infrastructure and moving forward, we're asking the state to help and the federal government. The state has helped with coming up with some more consolidated highway improvement funds that we will also be spending on this, on road work and public works. And we are also talking to our partners all the time about this.
Does that include is the county also helping pave some this year?
We're having discussions with the county, but that's unresolved at this point.
Do you have a general ballpark figure on what the budget for road repair is?
I can tell you that for every mill and pave, it's about $1.5 million per mile in the city.
I didn't get this for every, I'm sorry.
for every mill and pave. So if you're asking what the budget line is for potholes, we don't have a budget line just for filling potholes. But for road reconstruction, we're spending about $3 million this year on road reconstruction. Then there will be other roads that are reconstructed with the Connective Corridor funds and Tiger Grant funds. There'll be other work that's done with some of the additional funds from the state for what's called the CHIPS program.
So if someone calls in, can they expect that pothole will be filled, or what can they expect?
They can expect that pothole will be filled. We have a goal of 24 hours of filling those potholes, but I can tell you that we get a overwhelming response to this, it's going to take a little bit longer. One of the things that they can do if they go on our city website and do it through our complaint system is they can get a tracking number and they can follow that to see how long it takes or when it's been repaired.
Any idea on the time frame of what that might be, or how long does it take to fill one given pothole?
It varies. So as quickly as possible we're doing it. As I said, since April 1st we've filled 2,000. And it's April 22nd, so you can do the math.
Is it a point where it's, for snow emergency, you've got crews on 12-hour shifts, is it to that point yet?
It's day by day we're looking at it. And actually, last Wednesday I believe there was snow, and we have a snow crew on last Wednesday, and I was told we might have snow tomorrow, so welcome to Syracuse. That's why we're flexible.
But these trucks aren't running 24/7.
No, not yet. All right.
One last question. The Durapatch trucks make it, you're able to repair the roads quicker than...
Faster, and we think a better repair, yes. And more longer lasting repair. All right, thank you all very much. Oh, so the question about Erie Boulevard, I was just informed by my very smart commissioner that we're starting mill and pave on that next week.
Can we get a couple comments from Pete?
Sure, come on up, Commissioner. You want to tell them how great I am?
The mayor's great.
Thank you. Excellent. Did you all get that?
Good morning. What can I do for you?
We've talked a lot about how much worse the potholes have been this year. Just compare them to previous years in terms of quantity, severity, etc.
Well, as I've said before, is that there's no doubt about it that I believe the quantity has probably doubled, and there's no doubt that they are definitely bigger, deeper than I've ever seen. And I'm not just saying that from my own experience. We've had people here 35 years working in this department. They're saying the same thing.
How tough is it on your guys to get to all of this, get to that yard waste, do everything that you normally have to do?
Actually, they love it because number one, there is a possibility of overtime, and number two, it's called job security.
Can you just comment a little bit the Durapatch, how those trucks have been helping you guys since?
But the mayor's touched on it. The Durapatch repair lasts anywhere from 5 to 7 years, where a typical hot patch or a cold patch doesn't last overnight. You're lucky if you get 24 hours. Hot patch, you should get a year, but the Durapatcher, the plan is for 5 to 7 years is what's expected. And we're going into our third season, and all the Durapatch repairs we made in the first 2 years have held up very well. So I think that the salesman might have been truthful this time.
With such a high volume of potholes in the areas that are the worst, is there a time frame that you hope to have the majority of them filled?
What we're doing is the mayor touched on. We're going to all the complaints, and when we're in that area, we don't just do the complaint. Like if you were to say there was one right in front of us, a certain address, we look in the whole area. So we'll do that whole block, and while we're driving there, if we see some, we'll stop and do them also. And sometimes we'll even call in a complaint because we'll be going to the complaints, so we'll just call and get into the system. So when it's in the system, then it gets, you can follow it, gets checked off, and it gets done.
So it's fair to say though the goal though is within 24 hours.
That's the goal, but given how many we're having and how many, if we get 1,000 today, we're not going to be able to fill 1,000 by 24 hours from now.
Right, we're getting about 150 to 300 a day.
150, the other.
Right. You know,
You've
no,
done-
no, we're repairing.
You're repairing.
150
You've
to
filled
300.
Over 2,000 so far.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Since April 1st. All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you.